This is the story that literally shaped our universe and our existence. This is the story from the beginning. The very beginning. Study with Ruslana.
Ruslana Science!
13.8 billion years ago, our universe appeared suddenly from a huge explosion and expanded 1 trillion times an instant. This event is known as the Big Bang. At first, it was just a sea of blazing hot energy that was so intense it caused subatomic particles that are even smaller than atoms to form. These are the building blocks of all the matter in the universe that we see today. And it was only 380,000 years later when the universe cooled down. Well, it went from 8 billion degrees Celsius to 3,000 degrees Celsius for atoms to form, when atomic nuclei and electrons combined together to make helium and hydrogen atoms. They made our young and relatively small universe a cloud of gas. 500 million years later, the universe is now transparent as light can pass through, and is now gravity creating dense clumps of gases that will eventually turn into the first stars of our universe, later creating galaxies that are first small and irregular but will later develop spiral shapes as more stars will form and time will evolve. 5 billion years old, our young universe now consists of vast galaxy clusters that are arranged in threads with gigantic voids in between them. 8 billion years in, the expansion of the universe accelerates, and when it is 9 billion years old is when our solar system enters the timeline. And this is how our solar system looked 4.6 billion years ago. Within the giant cloud, clumps of gas were pulled together by their own gravity and produced so much energy they began to glow and heat up. This was triggered from a shock wave of a supernova. The clumps became denser as they started spinning and the core heated up, until the giant ball started glowing like a star when nuclear reactions took place. This was the birth of our sun. But where did the planets come from? And why are they constantly orbiting the sun? When the sun formed, the waste material like dust and rocks was spread further into space, and gravity transformed them into hundreds of tiny planets that crushed and collided into each other. The early years of the solar system were full of action, but roughly 7 million years later, the planets settled into their present-day patterns. So now we're left with the 8 planets that spin and orbit around the sun thanks to its colossal gravity. Astronomers study space with advanced technologies that open up so many opportunities, but the best way to learn it is to experience it. So, astronaut, ready for your first mission across the solar system? The closest planet to the sun and the smallest planet is Mercury, and is the first one we will see on our journey. Mercury is made entirely out of metal, and the side that is facing the sun will be hotter than an oven, while the opposite side is freezing cold. A year on Mercury is 88 Earth days, making it the fastest planet to orbit around the sun. As we go further, we will encounter a planet that is similar to Earth, nearly the same position away from the sun, nearly the same size, and it may have the right condition to support life. But why does it not? Well, Venus has one little problem. Its atmosphere is filled with clouds with deadly acid and greenhouse gases. The entire planet is like a greenhouse. Once the sunlight's heat reaches in, it's trapped, heating the planet up until it is nearly as hot as the sun, making Venus the hottest planet and the second brightest object we see in the night sky. Next, the third planet away from the sun is one you might recognize. Yes, it's Earth, and is the only known planet to harbor life. We do not need any telescopes or spaceships to explore this planet. And not too far away, we will see Earth's natural satellite, the Moon, which formed 4.5 billion years ago when a rock at the size of Mars crashed into our young planet, sending out so much debris that gravity formed a huge rock that now orbits our planet every month. Continuing, we will now see a rather small, red in color, and a planet that we've named after the Roman god of war, Mars. Mars' surface is covered in rust, giving its reddish look, and scientists believed that millions of years ago there might have been life on the surface of Mars. It is also where the largest mountain discovered on another planet is. Passing through the asteroid belt, we will now meet Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, and surprisingly, it is made purely out of gas. A day on Jupiter lasts only 10 Earth hours. Can you imagine that? The most iconic planet is Saturn. It also has a large family of moons like Jupiter and made out of gas. Saturn is surprisingly the lightest planet in the solar system and would actually float on water. Saturn's easily recognizable rings are made out of ice, dust, and rock. Traveling further down the solar system, we will now see an ice giant, Uranus. Uranus also has thin rings like Saturn, but it spins on its side unlike any other planet. Uranus is a simple blue globe with a few wisps of clouds. Neptune, the solar system's outermost planet, is 30 times away from the Sun than Earth is. Neptune has the strongest wind in the solar system, and it is icy cold. It is also the last planet to be discovered. However, there are more minor bodies scattered across the solar system. They are called dwarf planets, which are too large to be considered as asteroids, but too small to be considered as actual planets. Our Sun is one of the 200 billion stars in our universe that we know of, and even though in the night sky they may just look like tiny dots of light, each one varies significantly in lifespan, brightness, and size. Our Sun is actually one of the smallest type of stars. Imagine what extent do the largest one grow up to. Everything in space is in motion, constantly orbiting, spinning, rotating, or exploding. Space is a very mysterious place, and one of the strangest objects are black holes. When a massive star runs out of fuels, it dies in a giant explosion. Its core, unable to resist the crushing force of its own gravity, collapses and begins shrinking until it has zero size but infinite density. Scientists believe that the gravity of a black hole is so strong that not even light can escape from it. There are over 10 million of black holes in our galaxy. That was the story from the beginning, and this is Ruslana Science. So see you on our next space journey.